to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good morning. Eau Glory Chapter would like to welcome you to the dedication of the Eau Glory Garden and Pavilion, which Eau Glory Chapter is donating to the City of Franklin Parks Department. We'd like to thank Stuart Long, husband of member Jeanette Long, for being our trumpeter. We'd like to thank those of you who have served in our military and first responders. Will you please stand to be recognized or raise your hand? A lot of you are already standing. We'd like to welcome special guests with us today. The City of Franklin Mayor, Dr. Ken Moore. Tennessee State Representative Sam Whitson and his wife Pam. Franklin Police Chief Deborah Faulkner. Williamson County Mayor Rogers Anderson. Former City of Franklin Mayor and Eau Glory Chapter member Lillian Stewart. And Carol Robinson is here from the Williamson Herald. She's a friend of Eau Glory. Various current and former City of Franklin aldermen are here, and others that serve in various capacities for our community. If you have served in our community or government offices, please raise your hand to be recognized. We thank you for your service. Eau Glory Chapter, Daughters of the American Revolution, is a volunteer women's service organization dedicated to promoting historic preservation, education, and patriotism, and honoring the patriots of the Revolutionary War. The chapter has continuously served the City of Franklin and Williamson County for almost 126 years, since 1897. Eau Glory Chapter has contributed with historic preservation at the Ode City Cemetery, where 340 pioneer men and women are buried. In 1916, the Memorial Gateway was dedicated, the custom wrought iron gates and the inscribed stone tablets on the gate post unveiled. 100 years later, in October 2015, Eau Glory Chapter refurbished the wrought iron gates. Eau Glory Chapter placed a bench outside the gates in 2022. At least 17 memorial plaques have been placed throughout the community to designate sites such as the route of the original Natchez Trace and to commemorate the arrival of the Revolutionary War families who settled in Williamson County. In 2016, Eau Glory placed a granite marker on the Natchez Trace Parkway in Williamson County commemorating both Miss Susie Gentry and the family of Revolutionary War veteran Lieutenant Andrew Crockett. Last month, as we celebrated Constitution Week, Eau Glory dedicated the National Society Daughters of the American Revolution Our Patriots plaque on the outside wall of the Williamson County Archives and Museum in advance of the nation's upcoming 250th anniversary in 2026. These markers serve to raise awareness of the courage and sacrifice of the patriots who won America's independence, and to raise appreciation amongst the current and future generations of Americans of our patriots' sacrifice for their benefit. We installed a display commemorating Eau Glory Chapter's 125th anniversary at the Old Jail this past summer. Please go by and see those items. Eau Glory Chapter also contributed to educating our children and community by ringing in Constitution Week and coordinating with the city to put up banners along Main Street. We have placed flags, framed copies of the Declaration of Independence, and portraits of George Washington in schools around Williamson County. We read at local schools, sponsor essay contests with patriotic themes, and honor DAR Good Citizens from senior classes. Our love of patriotism is continually shown by attending U.S. citizenship naturalization ceremonies and give the newly sworn in U.S. citizens a welcome and a flag. We honor our military at the Veterans Day parades, visit and send donations of cards, clothing, and personal items to VA patients and active duty military. We are commemorative partners with the United States of America Vietnam War Commemoration, honoring men and women who were in service during the Vietnam War years by recognizing, thanking, and welcoming them home to a grateful nation. Each December, Old Glory Chapter participates in laying wreaths on veterans' graves with wreaths across America. And we will have a special unveiling today. Old Glory Chapter continues the legacy that was started by our founders in 1897. A special note, the U.S. flag that has been raised here today has flown over the DAR Constitution Hall in Washington, D.C. We are fortunate to have the Franklin High School ROTC as our color guard today, and we appreciate their service. After a prayer by Cheryl Mailer, Old Glory Chapter Recording Secretary, the flag of, actually we kind of went out of sync a little bit. So we're thankful for the flag of the USA Committee Co-Chair Sharon Harper, who led us with the Pledge of Allegiance, and to Lieutenant Pat Reyna, who assisted with the colors being raised. Cheryl Mailer, will you please say the prayer?
Our scripture reading today is from Matthew chapter 6, verse 28 through 31. Consider the lilies of the field, how they grow. They toil not, neither do they spin. And yet I say unto you that even Solomon in all his glory was not arrayed like one of these. Let us all bow our heads in prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, on this special day of joy and dedication, we ask that you bless this garden and all that grows within it. May the soil be rich and nourishing. May the sun shine down on it with warmth, and may the rain fall gently upon it when it needs refreshment. Please bless the gardeners who tend to these plants, keep them safe from harm, and help them do what they do best, care for the earth. May all who enter this garden be filled with joy at its beauty and bounty. May they feel your presence in their hearts as they walk among your creations, and may they take that joy and share it with others. Bless our country, its rich heritage, its freedoms, and its opportunities. Unite us all in our love for God, home, and country as we celebrate and dedicate this Old Glory garden and pavilion. Bless us and protect us today as we leave this special place. In his name we pray, amen.
Thank you, Mrs. Mailer. We would like to introduce Ken Moore, City of Franklin Mayor, who will say a few words.
What a nice crowd, and thank you for coming out today. And I certainly appreciate any time Old Glory Chapter calls me, and my answer is always yes. And I appreciate the contribution that they make to our community. You know, we are a historic community, founded in 1799, and we have a lot of historic gems in our community. And organizations like Old Glory are unlocking some of those stories of things like Collins Farm and helping us be able to learn more about this property, but also make it more inviting for us to come visit, and now the pavilion here. So thank you for what you're doing to keep history alive in Franklin, but also patriotism.
Thank you, Dr. Moore. Next is Ms. Paige Cruz. Paige is not here? Okay. Mr. Brian Walker, City of Franklin Urban Forestry Supervisor. Thank you, Mr. Walker.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Collins Farm here on this beautiful but yet brisk morning. I'm so very glad to see all you here today. It helps bring a presence to Collins Farm that isn't here very often, so it's great to see all the vehicles and people here before us today. It's been my privilege to work with Ms. Ford and Patrick Reyna and the DAR on this project. As you can see to your right, the raised beds, that was completed a little over a year ago, and it really brings beauty to the property, and we're very excited to see that and watch it continue to grow over the years to come. Also, the pavilion that we're standing here today, that's been a wonderful project. I think it'll be a great place to go when it's a hot summer day and the sun's beating down on us, a place to cool off. It'll also be an opportunity to where we can have conversations of topics of the day, or perhaps even things that have taken place in history. Again, I'd like to thank Ms. Ford and Mr. Reyna. They were the driving forces of this project, and I think if it wasn't for them and the contributions of the DAR, the Old Glory chapter, this project wouldn't be possible. So I really want to thank them very much for what they were able to do, but also financially to support it the way they have. So that's a wonderful thing. Also, we have some Parks Department staff here today. Our Parks Department staff work diligently day in and day out to maintain all of our parks, but especially here at Collins Farm. They helped participate during the construction. The concrete that we're standing on was performed or installed by our maintenance division, and the daily maintenance from a grass cutting and trimming of shrubs and trees, that's performed by our grounds and landscaping divisions. And they're here behind us today. They're in the background, but they're always here. So again, lastly, thank you very much, and I'm glad everyone's here today.
Thank you so much, Mr. Walker. Next up is State Representative Sam Whitson.
Thank you so much for this opportunity to speak today, and thank you to the Old Glory chapter for what you do for our community, working with our Parks Department. Y'all make this community better. You bring us together, you do these projects. It makes this place such a great place to live, to raise a family. It's recognized. Our Parks Department, our Police Department, every department in this city is incredible, and it's just, we are truly blessed, and we need to remember things like this during difficult times, what y'all have done to make this community so much better. Particularly, I'm interested in bed number 3, the patriotic bed that honors those who soldiers and service members of our country who have passed away, and especially bed number 4, the Iris bed, to represent the state of Tennessee, which I am so blessed and proud to serve. But also, about a month ago, Pam and I went up to my regimental reunion in Louisville, and what y'all do for the Vietnam veterans is just extraordinary, and I want to appreciate it. These men that I served with, they were all captains, majors, lieutenant colonels when I was a brand new lieutenant. They were all Vietnam veterans. They were America's best and brightest, and your honor to them and service and recognition of them is greatly appreciated. You welcome them home, and I just want to thank the Old Glory chapter for all you do for our community and all the visitors here today. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Allison Bender, First Vice Regent for the Old Glory chapter. And we're going to talk a little bit about the history of this land that we're standing on and the parks with Franklin take such good care of. So, where do we begin? This piece of land is now referred to as Collins Farm, which is a 3.5-acre historic City of Franklin park near the Harpeth River. However, we acknowledge and honor the rich history of the various occupants, starting with the indigenous American Indians who lived on these lands near the network of the Harpeth River here in Middle Tennessee. In the late 1700s and early 1800s, many land grants were issued in this area to patriots who fought in the American Revolution. This particular piece of property that adjoins the Carton Plantation was part of a land grant to James McGavick of Virginia, who was commissioned militia captain and served as a quartermaster during the American Revolutionary War. His son Randall McGavick inherited the land to build and live on the property of Carton we know today. During the Civil War, William C. Collins, who was manager of Carton, and his wife Lucy, lived in the front house, which still stands behind you there today. The intersection of the railroad and Harpeth River made this a truly important location. Following the Battle of Franklin, the house served as a field hospital and several soldiers were temporarily buried in the garden area where we stand today. Collins' son-in-law, George Cuppet, supervised the reinterment of the soldiers to the McGavock Cemetery. In 1867, William Collins purchased these 3.5 acres from John McGavock. In 1911, interestingly enough, the property was bought by Thomas Henderson, who, at the end of World War I, was a member of the plot to kidnap the German Kaiser Wilhelm. Who knew? In 1980s, a lady that some of you may have known sold vegetables and medicinal herbs and plants to the local community. Some of you might remember that. Changing hands a few more times, the property was held by the Battle of Franklin Trust, then the City of Franklin. It officially became a park. Today, on October 17th, 2023, the Eau Glory chapter of NSDAR donates this garden and pavilion to the Parks Department to bring awareness of the need for historic preservation, education, and patriotism to our community. Thank you.
Woohoo! I am so excited to be here today. You just don't even know. Rome was not built in a day, was it, Lisa? It was not. Brian? No. And neither was this garden. In June of 2019, Viva Martin, a member that just moved to Atlanta, she and I went to the City of Franklin Parks Department with the thought of doing something for the city that would cover all our mission statements of historic preservation, education, and patriotism. And we started our long journey together. So what I get to do today is talk about people real quick who have been involved. There's a lot of people that have been involved, so I'm gonna call out their names. And Daphne, do you want to get those things? First and foremost, from our City of Franklin Parks Department, 3 people that were involved with us for a long, long time. Director of Franklin Parks Department, Lisa Clayton, one of our biggest champions who kept us going and motivated through some bumps along the way. Brian Walker, City of Franklin Urban Forestry Supervisor, on site, approving, helping, educating, going to bat for us at many of the city council meetings and putting up with us. all of our phone calls.
Thank you.
James Bilbo is hanging back there in the back. James, you have to come on up. Boots on the ground. And his crew are all back there. We've given everybody a little pin. Put the stakes out here when we started. Many meetings. Got his crew to trim and crown, and those guys are all back there, and we so appreciate this. Could not have happened without all of you guys back there and with your crew. Thank you so much. Paige Cruz and Kevin Lindsay, Park Superintendent, Facilities Superintendent. You guys were always helping us out when we needed it, so thank you, Kevin. Suppliers, Nelson Flores over here at Husky Truss. He was helpful with our small project. Marvin Young of MyScapes came, and he was on the picture of one of the, brought his dump truck. He's usually doing big name celebrity projects, but he stopped and at one phone call came and loaded because we were back and forth. He showed up and got us started. Michael Hinkle and Tanya from right across the road at Mid-South Mulch. They brought our dirt right in across the road. Tanya hopped in the skid steer, the front loader, and brought our dirt over. Tanya, is anybody here from Mid-South Mulch? And Marvin Young, are you here? No. Billy Johnson is here from Lawn Master. This is the pavilion. So he jumped through a lot of hoops with the city. And I want y'all to know, if there is a tornado in this area, Pat and myself will be underneath this pavilion, because this pavilion is not going anywhere. And Billy Johnson drove over from Knoxville today, so thank you for your help in that. Our shuttle driver back there today, Chad O'Neill, helped us out today. Marissa helped us out, helped do all the setup today at 7 a.m. And parking guys, parking attendants, I know Ken was here. Candy, is your husband here helping park as well? All right, well, Ken Knight, thank you. The Old Glory members, I hope you took some time to go look at the photos over there and the progression of the projects. Ladies, stand, you're already standing. And everybody up here worked on the project, so no need to stand. A big round of applause. These ladies came, shoveled gravel, soil, seeded water, picked weeds, and some made their kids, grandkids, and husbands come as well. Take a bow. Well done, ladies. HODARs, husbands of DAR. That's what a HODAR is. It's not a bad word. It's a HODAR.
Sounds worse.
John Sharber, Gary Shirley, Chuck Isaacs, Raymond Troop, and Chris Troop came. Am I missing any of the husbands that came and helped? Anybody else? Thank you, guys. Thank you for helping us. Chuck Isaacs, raise your hand right there. A special thank you to you. You made our garden understandable. All these signs, Iris, Pollinator, he did all that work, beautiful signs. And then he came just a few days ago and put in this zebra grass so that it would be presentable and lovely for today. So we really appreciate everything that you've done for us, Chuck. I want to recognize my husband, Tim Ford, who's not here today because Western Kentucky is playing football tonight. But for his help in this project, moving gravel, digging, cementing, installing posts with Pat. So he has now completed and paid his HODAR dues, and he's relieved of duty. Lastly, Lieutenant Pat Rayna, can you stand up here beside me? Pat was like, nobody, I don't want a recognition. Not long after his wife, Margaret, joined our chapter, we were talking about this project, putting the garden together, and Margaret said, my husband just put a pavilion in next door to our neighbors. Maybe he could help. Well, this is what he got into. Pat has built buildings and installations all over the world. Military buildings, airport hangars, etc. But this may have been your most challenging project ever.
It was the most fun.
So Pat was with us from the start, going to multiple meetings with the Parks Department and the city. He gave us his knowledge, his background, his valuable time, and back-breaking effort. I came out here one day and Pat was putting in the posts that the holes had been dug, and he was lifting the posts up and putting them in himself. Always with a smile and a joke and a good story. So this project
Some of them were true.
this project may not have been the biggest thing that you have ever done, but Pat, we want you to know that you are the best thing to have happened to us. You have served your country, you've served your church, your neighbors, you've served and blessed us with your time, effort, and expertise. He did not want any special recognition, but I just want you to know, Pat, that we're your biggest fans. We love you and Margaret and are so thankful for everything you did.
Thank you. No words. No words. I can't believe that.
Give me a minute here. All right. I'm Kathy Isaacs, and along with Kathy Knight, we chair the garden responsibilities. Y'all hear? You have to put it right in my nose? All right, there we go. All right, anyway, Kathy Knight and Kathy Isaacs, we share garden responsibilities. And when we first started this project, each of the 8 beds was adopted by a committee within the Old Glory organization. And the plants were chosen based on what was important to that particular group. So each bed comes with its own history. And I'll run through that quickly for you. The first bed is a rose garden, and all of the roses in that bed have been have been in America since the early 1800s. The second bed is the Native American bed, and in the spring we plant what they refer to as Three Sisters, which is corn surrounded by beans, surrounded by squash. And that was a plant that the Native Americans in this area did plant. This time of year, we just choose plants that look good, that were available and used by them at that time. The third bed is the Never Forget Garden, and that bed is in remembrance of the 100th anniversary of the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. The plants there are chosen to encourage patriotism, remembrance, and unity. The fourth bed, one of Sam's favorites, is the Tennessee bed, and there in the spring we have white, yellow, and purple iris blooming, and it's absolutely gorgeous. The fifth bed is medicinal herbs, and all of the herbs in here historically have been used to treat different ailments, and Thomas Jefferson grew all of these, so it goes back a few years. The sixth bed is our pollinator bed, and it's designed to provide food to birds, bees, butterflies, and other small animals that pollinate plants and support our local ecosystem. The New Neighbors Garden Club, mostly all master gardeners, and it's a very large organization, they planted that bed for us because we wanted to be sure that we got it right. The seventh bed, we grow gourds in the spring and the summer. And gourds are really interesting. You know, they've been around in America for over 10,000 years, and they are believed to have come here by floating on ocean currents. They're not edible, but they've been used to make bowls, cups, weapons, musical instruments, and many other furniture, many other household items. The last bed is our hosta bed over in that corner, and each hosta was chosen for its patriotic name and what that name represents. At the very end of the bed, you can see a medal, the U.S. flag medal. That was donated by Janet Cook. You know, we love this garden, and my hope is that other local organizations and private individuals will add to what we've done here and turn this 3.5-acre piece of property into a beautiful botanical garden that everybody can enjoy. I want to one more time do a shout out to those guys in the back. They're the best ever, and every one of them is great to work with. If you want more information on the garden, on the outside front of the bed, there's a brochure box, and each bed is described in more detail in that box. So thank you guys all for being here.
Good morning. Yeah, that's fine. Excuse me. Thank you. Okay. Good morning. I'm Daphne Cavanis. I'm co-chair for Service for Veterans, along with Margaret Reyna and Jane Troop. The Old Glory chapter of the American Revolution, in partnership with the Society of the Honor Guard, Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, established this garden plot to commemorate the 100th anniversary of the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. This nationwide initiative seeks to plant individual and public gardens with symbolic plants to honor all veterans. Today, we dedicate this Never Forget plaque, which is inscribed with these words. This garden is a living tribute to all of America's veterans and their families. In silence and respect, this is a place to remember why millions of Americans have fought and died for our liberty and freedom. Here, we renew our promise to fulfill America's sacred duty to never forget. Here, we renew our mutual pledge to support them with our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor. Thank you.
Thank you for attending today for this very special day for Old Glory Chapter. I just want to have a shout out to Honorary Regent Sarah Ford, who had the big dream that this would happen, and we're so happy that you get to see it through, Sarah. We hope that you will come and enjoy this space whenever you have some free time. And please stay today and enjoy some refreshments and walk around the garden. Thank you for coming.